When you're almost famous, you just might find yourself live on air on WATD. Hour 2 of Almost Famous begins now.
Welcome to the Tiny Stage Hour of Almost Famous on 95.9 WATD, hour number 2 of the show, introducing you to independent bands and musicians from across New England every Tuesday night, brought to you by Tiny and Sons Glass. My name is John Shea. Make sure to follow us online tonight, facebook.com/almostfamousradio, Instagram at almostfamousradio, and our podcast, which you can find at almostfamousradio.com. Our tiny stage guest tonight is, well, you might call him a legend in the local community, and that would be Dinty Child. Good evening. How you doing?
Hey, John. How you doing?
I am great. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So we were talking just before we went live tonight that we met several years ago through a mutual friend, Brian Carroll, when he was hosting his Roots in the Round series over at the Tinker's Son.
I believe that's the case. I remember it. I remember having a great night that night.
It was fantastic. So for those who might not be familiar with you, and I'm sure that's few and far between, give us an introduction. Who is Dinty Child?
I'm sure there are plenty of people who have no idea who I am. Well, I've been around the Boston roots folk music scene for a very long time, since the 80s sometime. Mostly these days, my time is spent with a band called Session Americana. And that's great, and it's been super fun. I also lead a very large, like a 20-piece band down on the South Coast called the Funky White Honkies sometimes, and play with a guy out on the Cape, Chandler Travis, and any number of people around town when I get a chance. So
fantastic. And you are just about to drop a new album, I understand.
That is true. On Friday. Friday comes out, the 17th, and I'm very excited. It's been a while coming. I just had songs. I had a lot of songs that I wanted to get down, and it turned into a record. I went into it not necessarily thinking I was making a record, but wanting to have a record of the songs, and lo and behold, that became an album, and I'm very, very pleased about it.
Congratulations. Now, there's also a Kickstarter, and the clock is ticking on that to kind of help with some of the costs of that. That's ending tomorrow night. Talk about that.
Well, that's what you do these days to pay back your bank account for doing recording and pressing these things and whatever. You can't really go to the record store that much these days, and streaming doesn't really pay, so you want to have a way that people who know you and fans of the music can help out. And believe me, it all helps out.
That's awesome. Well, I want to talk too about the promotional video that you have for that Kickstarter. But before we do that, let's hear a song. What are you sharing with us first tonight?
I think I'll start with a song that I do a lot with Session Americana. It's called "It's Not Texas."
All right, we have Dinty Child on the tiny stage tonight. It's all yours. 95.9 WATD.
All right. Just another pretty face, a decent voice, a beat-up case. It's open mics and meeting threes, and Music Row indignities. But Nashville has a tribe of those who need the music in their bones, who don't judge age by young or old, or worth by what gets bought and sold. But I remember when we used to drive through Austin with the pickup windows down, find a country station and sing along too loud. So if they should ask about me and the place I lay my head, tell them it's alright, but it's not Texas. Tell them it's all right, but it's not Texas. Snow is freezing in your hair, hands so numb they're barely there, and people's eyes they turn away. Oh, Boston can be cold that way, but there is magic in the snow, and you don't know warm till you've been cold. And when you're here it's understood, a friend hard one's a friend for good. But I remember when we'd float down Frio River on a yellow April day, tans and tubes and waving high to strangers down the way. So if they should ask about me and the place I lay my head, tell them it's all right, but it's not Texas. Tell them it's all right, but it's not Texas. Plastic skin and satin lips in neon night on Sunset Strip. The beat goes by in shiny cars, and everyone will be a star. But L.A. lays down by the sea, and she's breathing electricity and telling us as angels might, we're made of stars, so it's all right. But I remember all the two-step nights on old wood floors with the fiddles in the band. Sunday dinner after church with please and thank you, ma'am. So if they should ask about me and the place I lay my head, tell them it's all right, but it's not Texas. Well, you can tell them I'm okay, but it's not Texas. It's not Texas.
And you're listening to Almost Famous on 95.9 WATD. Dinty Child joining us on the tiny stage this evening. Great job on that one, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Talk about how you wrote that song, if you would.
That song is I wrote it for someone I met. She was going to Berkeley College of Music. I don't know how many years ago now. I want to say 2 years ago, and it was probably 4. And she was from the hill country of Texas, outside of Austin. And we got introduced through, a mutual person. She wanted to know some stuff about music in this area. And somebody introduced me to her, and we got to be friends. And at one point, she asked if I wanted to write a song with her. And before we got together, I was thinking about what kind of song I wanted her to sing. I would like to hear her sing. And she had lived in all those places in Nashville. She was in Boston, obviously, and spent a lot of time in L.A. And so I kind of wrote that song before we even got together. And so by the time we got together, I just said, let me sing you the song and see if I got it right. And she had a couple of suggestions here and there, but said, you got it right. So this is what it feels like. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So we were talking just before you sang that song about your Kickstarter, which is ending tomorrow night. So find Dinty Child. It's up on your Facebook page, isn't it?
It's there. Yeah. I have a website. It's brand new, so it might be a little hard to find. But yeah, definitely. There's a Dinty Child Music Facebook page where all of this stuff is for sure.
And there's a great video to accompany the pledge drive there. Talk about that, because there's a lot of celebrity faces in that.
Well, Kickstarter is great. A lot of people make very heartfelt, earnest videos for their Kickstarters to tell you how much they want to raise money and all that stuff. And I kind of went a different route. I had this idea in mind. This is my first album under my own name, and I'm well past my younger days, and so I sort of had this idea of like, wouldn't it be funny if there was all these rumors about this hot new guy who was like wise beyond his years and all these amazing songs, and he can sing and he can do anything, and he's going to be a huge star and all that stuff. So I got a number of my friends to send me little clips saying stuff like that, and the ending bit proves that the reality is not what people think. So.
It's very cool, though. So, yeah, go there and see how many you recognize, because if you've played in the Boston music scene, chances are at least half a dozen.
Yeah, well, it's pretty fun. My friends in the band Lake Street Dive really stepped up. So
that's very cool. So talk about the record a little bit more. So what inspired you to go into the studio to make this?
Well, like I said, it's I adore being in Session Americana. I love what we do. I love the guys. I everything about it. But I mean, the reality is there are 6 people in the band. There's 5 writers, and any given album, any given show, I can only do so much because there's got to be room for everybody. And as a result, I was just kind of. I don't write a lot of songs, maybe 2, 3, 4 a year, but they were kind of piling up over time. And I had a couple of days of studio time coming to me at a wonderful studio in Maine called Great Northern Sound Society. And so I decided, well, I'm going to take a bass player and drummer. I took bass player Zach Hickman and drummer Sean Trishka, brought my acoustic guitar, and we recorded everything we could in 2 days. I recorded 17 songs in 2 days. The owner is a very good keyboard player, plays with Josh Ritter, Sam Kassirer. And so he sort of set up in the control room. So he was running the soundboard and kind of playing some keyboard and stuff. Most of it's live. And then I, as one would with singing 17 songs with multiple takes and stuff, I kind of lost my voice somewhere in the second day. So I went back up and finished those and tweaked some stuff. And, well, Zach Hickman had written string arrangements for some of the songs. So, well, I should put those on. So next thing you know, I finished all the songs, and it was like, okay, there's a record in here if I just got to pick the songs that I think go together best. So I took 11 of them and put them on a record. That's cool. So they're not all new songs. They kind of some of them date back into your catalog a bit. Yeah, there are some that have been around. When we were doing the recording, I was really just I was just going for everything. I was like, all right, this one, let's do this one. Hey, there's this one. Hey, I haven't thought about this one in a long time. Let's just do this one. And they knew a bunch of them, and some of them they didn't, and I would teach them. And I decided to not overthink it. Just trust that the fact that we were doing it in such a quick manner with limited instrumentation would mean that no matter how new or old the song was or what style it was, that somehow the thing would hang together. And I think it ended up being that. The material covers a lot of territory in terms of feel, but there's a lot of joy to it. There's a lot of a live lot of live feel to it. And then we added some things. Issa Burke and Ellie Buckland from Lula Wiles. Issa played all the electric guitar on it. I only played acoustic, and she played all the electric and a bunch of fiddle. And there's the strings and other singers of friends of mine. As they were in town, I'd kind of grab them and go somewhere, and we'd record more vocals and things like that. So it's a lot of it's fairly full, but I think it has that sound of that basic 3-piece that we started out with. So
amazing. We're chatting with Dinty Child tonight. Speaking of live, let's do some more music. What are we listening to next?
All right. I think I'm going to play a newish song that I wrote with my friend Mark Arelli, who I've written a lot of songs with. And it's a song about why songwriters always want to play the new song.
All right, Dinty Child, WATD, it's all yours.
Why do I do it when it's all been done 100 times before? Oh, why do I do it? Can't you hear me knocking on the same old door? Oh, the world don't need another song, it's true. But if I write another one for you, it can't be wrong if you want to sing along, 'cause it feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It's true. I remember up in my room, I could tune out everything. Oh, I remember head in the speakers, and it felt like a secret they were singing to me. Oh, the world don't need another song, I know. But then I catch that wave and baby, off I go. So come along, I can feel it coming on, 'cause it feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It's true. Song, it's true. But if I sing another one for you, can't be wrong if you sing it all night long, as it feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It feels like the first time. It feels like the first time every time. It's true.
Dinty Child on the tiny stage tonight, 95.9 WATD. Awesome job on that one.
Thanks.
We have to take our first time out of the 9 o'clock hour. We have a lot more music to get to, so stick around right here on Almost Famous 95.9 WATD.
We're your radio station, the South Shore's 95.9 WATD.
Welcome back to Almost Famous on 95.9 WATD, introducing you to independent bands and musicians from across New England every Tuesday night, 8 to 10, brought to you by Tiny and Sons Glass. We're in the second hour tonight, the Tiny Stage Hour, and we're chatting with Dinty Child. Good evening. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thanks.
Happy New Year, too.
Hey, you too.
So for those who missed the first part of the show, give us another introduction as to who you are.
Longtime local musician from the Boston area, especially in the folk and roots world, and play mostly with Session Americana these days. That's my primary gig.
So every once in a great great while on Sunday nights, usually in this overnight Sunday doo-wop show. If our regular host Bill Clark can't make it, and every once in a while Peter Wolf will come in and sit in as the doo-wop jock.
I got to say, I love that show. I don't play with Chandler Travis out on Cape Cod as much as I used to, but boy, there were many Sundays where I was driving back from the Cape late at night listening to that show.
So yeah, he's a legend. We love Bill.
Yeah.
So awesome. So you've got a show coming up on Thursday.
This is true. At Oberon in Cambridge.
I've never been to that venue. So what's it like?
It's fantastic. It's on the eastern side of Harvard Square, where Arrow Street goes off of Mass Ave, and it's a theater that's owned. It's one of the American Repertory Theater, the ART, which is a Harvard base, and they're big theaters on the other side of the square. And this is a black box theater, but it's set up like a 1940s nightclub or a disco. They for many years, they recently stopped, but they had the Donkey Show, which is a disco adaptation of Midsummer Night's Dream running on weekends. And it was something else, and it was great. But as a result, it has complete theater production with a big stage, and amazing lights and sound and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's got a big bar and hanging curtains and velvet curtains and raised sections, and I don't know. It's a really cool vibe. Session Americana's done a number of shows there, and I love it every time. So it seemed like just the place to do a show.
Now it's a solo show.
The what?
It's a solo show, right?
Well, yeah. So it's my first show of this kind. I've done a few things under my own name at Passim, but this is the first real show. I'll have a 12-piece band with a string section and extra singers and all kinds of stuff, and I'm super excited about it.
Excellent. So not only go to the Facebook page, Dinty Child's Facebook page, for the Kickstarter video, but also go there to get tickets for Thursday night show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we're getting down to the very end on available tickets, but I'd love to have anybody who wants to be there.
Now, when does the album officially drop?
That comes out on Friday. And,
awesome.
And then I'm bringing the band to New York for a show on Saturday. So that it's sort of making a weekend of it.
That sounds great. Let's do another song, Dinty. What are we listening to next?
Okay, I think I'm going to do a song I wrote with a amazing songwriter who I don't know how many people I've ever heard of, named Dave Godowski. He's been all over, most recently New York for a long time, came back to Boston. But it's called Hellbent. It's about not giving up when you should, I guess. Oh, the days are getting colder, and the white wine turns to red. I'm closing up the windows and putting blankets on the bed. The engine won't turn over, something's wrong with my machine. The road is out before me as the red light turns to green, and I'm hell-bent on holding on. Yeah, I'm hell-bent on holding on. Well, the red light turns to green. I guess it's really time to go. But the shotgun seat is empty and you're not answering your phone. And the weathermen are nervous about the never-ending drought. So I'm gassing up the mower as the green grass turns to brown. 'Cause I'm hell-bent on holding on. Yeah, I'm hell-bent on holding on. Someone left the front door open. Somehow orange leaves have blown in. Well, the green grass turns to brown. I guess I'll put that thing away. Guess there's nothing more to tell you. Guess there's nothing left to say. Oh, the sun is finally setting as the day turns into night. Guess I'll open another bottle as my suntan turns to white. 'Cause I'm hell-bent on holding on. I'm hell-bent on holding on. Yeah, I'm hell-bent on holding on. He's hell-bent, yeah, I'm hell-bent on holding on. He's hell-bent, yeah, it's getting better all the time. He's hell-bent, yeah, it's getting better all the time.
Dinty Child, 95.9 WATD. Nice job on that one.
Thanks, man.
Talk about the story behind that song. You said it was a co-write. How did you guys kind of collaborate on that?
On that one, well, there's a group of us who go in early June, go up to an island on a lake in New Hampshire, Lake Winnipesaukee, New Hampshire, and work on songwriting. There's like about 15 to 18 of us, including Mark Orelli, Dave Godowski, Chris Delmhorst, a whole bunch of cool people. And you spend a lot of time on your own, but you can always just grab somebody. And Dave and I had a half hour, and we said, let's write a song together. And that's the one that came out. I can't remember. I think I had something in a notebook. One of the lines. It was the very first line. It's the weather's getting colder and the white wine turns to red. So we sort of
Great lyric.
We sort of went from there. I think it was
Fantastic. Talking with Dinty Child tonight, I want to talk a little bit about influences. I'm guessing after that last song, the Beatles were
were certainly certainly in there. Oh yeah, I did get It's Getting Better All the Time. Yeah, for sure. Sgt. Pepper I played into several grounds. Certainly the Beatles. I grew up. I have 4 older sisters, so there was everything from Camelot and musical theater to the Rolling Stones Out of Our Heads. I went to bed every night, like pretty literally for 2 years, with Louie Louie pounding through the wall from the stereo on the other side of my bedroom wall. And so that got in there too. I would say that once, when I was about 14, I think, an older friend played me Fairport Convention and Ry Cooder the same day. And those became big things, like sort of taking more traditional types of music and melding them with rock stuff. Because as a kid, it was all Hendrix and Cream and the Doors and all that stuff. So it's all in there. It's all melded together there.
Fantastic. Somehow. Now, when you're writing, whether it's for Session Americana, whether it's writing solo, whether it's writing with somebody else, how do you adapt your songwriting for the project you're working on?
Well, for me, like I say, I'm a little bit of a reluctant writer, so it's kind of nice to have boundaries, shall we say. It can be a little tough to come up with things out of the blue. I keep a notebook just as things occur to me. I just write something down. It's usually like a line or a title or something like that. Or I write a lot of stuff out of dreams, oddly enough, where I'll kind of be in a dream and I'll be singing a song or something, and I'll wake up enough to stagger to my phone and grab a guitar and just mumble something. It might be some lines or whatever, a melody, and then go back to sleep. And just completely forget about it. And then when it comes time to write, I'll go through all of this stuff and see what I've got. So like a shocking number of my songs come from that process. It's not a process I would particularly recommend to anybody. It's not terribly reliable, but it has seemed to work for me for getting a lot of songs that I like a lot.
So for somebody who's been in the music scene for the years that you have, how do you think your writing has evolved? I know you say you don't write often, but when you do write, how do you think your songwriting has evolved from when you first started to present day for this new record?
Well, I think that just as time goes on, I think there was a time when I was writing a song a year or a song every 2 years or something like that. And then in the last, 10 to 12 years or something, as I've written more and more, you're bound to start to have a little bit of more consistency of sound, I think, and I think that's part of what led to doing this record. It was, I just started to have more songs that kind of went together, or at least I had enough songs that I could pick ones that kind of sounded cohesive. I have 6 songs that are already done from this record towards a next record, and I have a whole batch of songs like that last one that aren't on this new record, that are newer since then, that I'd be ready to put on that. And a lot of those, they kind of go together. They'll sound good together. So I guess just as you do it more, you start to get a little more cohesion and a little more of a consistent sound.
Fantastic. That is Dinty Child. Let's do some more music. What are we listening to next?
Well, I think maybe it's time to play some stuff from the record.
Sure.
So
it's your show. Whatever you want to play. It's all up to you.
No, it's your show, but I'll play this. I remember this one came about when I was working on another song quite a while ago, another song called Yankee Money that Session Americana does, and I was getting very frustrated. I was having a hard time cracking the nut of some of the lyrics, and I decided to go out for a walk, and I got a few steps away, and this song just kind of came right out. I sat down and wrote it down exactly as I'll play it once I'm in a little bit better tune. Okay, there we go.
Dinty Child, 95.9 WATD. It's all yours whenever you're ready.
Well, it's a time that goes by in an instant. It's the answer we don't understand. It's the thing we find we're not looking for. It's the sun that turns into a man. It's a taste of the first cup of coffee. It's a puzzle without any clue. It's the sun going down in the ocean. It's the reason why I still need you. And it's a meeting that might not have happened. It's a wondering why we are here. It's a lost conversation at midnight. It's the nothing that brings us to tears. And it's a baby that's suddenly smiling. It's the lies we're told that prove true. It's the blue, the sky, and the twilight. It's the reason but I still need you. And it's the dreams we remember when waking. It's the song we still hear when it's through. It's the blue, the sky and the twilight. It's the reason why I still need you. It's the blue, the sky, and the twilight. It's the reason why I still need you.
Really nice. That's Dinty Child on 95.9 WATD. Great job on that.
Thanks, man.
Talk about how that one was written, if you would.
Well, like I said, I was working on another song, and it just all came out. I think I changed one line. All the words, they literally came out in a line like that. That doesn't happen very often, but
So it's like one of those songs that kind of just happens in 5 minutes, and
it really did. I just started writing things down, and it's just how it came out. I think I had one line about something about it's the bubbles that rise in this beer, like a guy's kind of feeling sorry for himself hanging over on the bar. But I decided to change it and make it a sweeter song.
So when you're writing, you said some songs come to you in a dream.
Yeah.
With that as an example, are you melody-based or lyric-based when you're writing?
Well, yeah, that wasn't a dream song. That one just came out. But when I was trying to work on another song, but since a number of my songs sort of start from a dream thing, there's often like a few words in there, and definitely melody is a huge part of what I do. For sure, and I don't know if it's my 60s pop sensibilities or whatever, but there's often kind of big choruses and that kind of thing. So it can come from anywhere. But it usually kind of comes with some fragment of melody and words that go with it together, I would say, and then I just kind of extrapolate from there. Figure out what the song wants to be.
So you, according to the Kickstarter video, you have a lot of friends in the local music community. Who are you listening to locally that really stands out to you as a songwriter, as a vocalist, as a musician?
Well, there are so many. I just recently Peter Mulvey did a 12-hour. Played for 12 hours at Passim to raise money for great causes, and I spent the last couple hours with him, and even in that time, Tim Guerin was there, and Rose Polenzani, who I've played with a lot, and I'm kind of around that Passim scene a lot, and there are just so many amazing singers and songwriters coming through at all times from the colleges and stuff. Lisa Amador, who grew up, she actually went to school with my younger daughter. She's a little younger, but her parents have a group called Soul y Canto, which she was a part of. But she's just amazing, and she sold out 3 nights at Passim, the first, second, and third, and she's 24, I think, or 23.
That's unbelievable.
Or 24. But what a voice. Oh my God. That voice is just amazing.
And it's wild because like 2 or 3 months before that, I saw her with I don't know if you know Haley Sabella.
Yeah, I do.
They played together at a little camp in Hanson, Massachusetts.
Okay.
They had like 50 people there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's fun to see these people on their way up and get to know them before that happens. My Kickstarter video has people like Anais Mitchell and Lake Street Dive and Ifo Donovan and stuff, and they're all just former Bostonians who I got to be friends with before they went on to whatever they've gone on to. I think of Lula Wiles, who I've known for years at this point. I mean, they're still young, and I've known them for years and years, and just watched them develop and get known all over the country. And I've heard the songs that they're going to record for their next record, and it's going to be amazing and better than the record that their last record, which was amazing too. So.
That's awesome.
And it's fun because then these people, they're here and then they go off. They might move to New York, Nashville, anywhere. And but we stay in touch and stay friends. And being musicians, traveling around a bit, you cross paths with each other here and there. And that's always a good time and a good reunion. So.
And that's the cool thing about the Boston music community is, it is kind of a big deal around here. So when people do leave, they tend to come back and they think of this place as, as a launching pad.
Well, there's an audience here, and that's not true everywhere. I have done a fair amount of traveling all over the world, Europe a lot and stuff. And we have a culture of live music that I'd put up against anybody's. I know Austin loves to say they're the live music capital of the world, and there's a lot of great music in Austin, and there's a lot of amazing music in Nashville and New York and LA and all that stuff. But pound for pound per square mile, I think the Boston, Cambridge, Somerville area has as much going on as anywhere, if not more in some ways, because you just have an audience that's really tuned in to what's going on and is excited about it. I do all different kinds of things. I do these crazy Into the Wild shows once in a while at the Lizard Lounge, Into the Wild with Dinty Child, where I'll just put together some oddball band and we'll come up with a night of music. And people will come. There are certain people, there's about 20 people I know who will come to that show, and they'll come to other shows of mine at Passim or anywhere, but then I'll see them at other shows that I happen to go to, go to an Elisa show, and there they are. There's just a lot of people who support live music in Boston, and that's a real treasure. And it means that anybody who's playing music will keep coming back because they can find an audience. So
even like a show like this, I don't think this type of radio show would work in really any other city except for Boston.
Yeah, well, you got it here. You got UMB up the street, who their entire format is a type of sort of roots folk music, which I mean there are other shows around the country I know of, but I don't know of any other stations that do it all the time. And I think having more people do stuff floats all the boats. It really does. It just means we have that culture more than fighting in competition. I think that's one of the things that makes the music scene real strong here. It's not really about the competition. Everybody's having a good time and playing with each other and stuff. I mean, the band I'll have at Oberon, I've got Sean Staples, Issa Burke, Zach Hickman, Sean Trishka, Dietrich Strauss, Rose Cousins, Rose Polenzani, Lauren Balthrop. All these people are amazing songwriters and band leaders on their own. My entire band is songwriters and band leaders. So, but we're all friends, and that's how it works, and it's great.
Amazing. We're chatting with Dinty Child. I think it's time for another song. What are we listening to next?
Let's do. I'll do another one off the record. Another song with Mark Arelli. This is actually the lead-off track on the record. I have a habit of writing. This is one of my dream songs, the melody and the tune for this. And as happens in dreams, I can't control the melody, so I often end up with melodies I can't sing all that well, and this one starts on the highest note of the song. So, baby, you're mistaken if you think the dawn will hurt. It's the dreams we made together that are buried in the dirt. But something new will grow there for whatever it is worth. And the sun will still be rising in the morning. And everybody's saying that the sky is falling down. The circus tent's on fire and it's burning to the ground. And they're looking for the matches in the trailer of the clown. But the sun will still be rising in the morning. Still feel all alone. Well, I'm lying right beside you, baby, flesh and blood and bone, and the sun will still be rising in the morning. That are buried in the dirt. But something new will grow there for whatever it is worth. And the sun will still be rising in the morning.
Awesome. Dinty Child on 95.9 WATD. Great job on that.
Thanks.
We are up against our final timeout of the night. You have one more song in you?
Yeah, I sure do.
All right, we'll do that right after this on 95.9 WATD. This is Almost Famous.
Wherever you go, we're there. Listen online at 959watd.com. We're the South Shore's radio station, 95.9 WATD.
And for the final time tonight, welcome back to Almost Famous on 95.9 WATD, introducing you to independent bands and musicians from across New England. Momentarily, we will welcome Mike Joshua with Americana-Rama. That starts at 10 o'clock tonight, so that's coming your way, going till 1 a.m. A lot of great music. Mike always has some great tunes lined up, so stick around for that. Follow Almost Famous on Facebook, facebook.com/almostfamousradio, Instagram at Almost Famous Radio, our podcast at almostfamousradio.com, and I think that covers everything. I'm John Shea. We're being joined tonight for a few more moments by Dinty Child. How you doing in there?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming down to the radio station. One last time, give us an introduction as to who you are.
All right. Well, local longtime musician. Played in rock bands around town in the 80s, and always in the folk and roots world, and mostly these days with session Americana. So that's my main thing.
That's amazing. And there is a new album dropping on Friday.
Absolutely. Very excited about it. It's been a long time coming.
I didn't ask the name of it.
called Lucky Ones.
Okay, awesome. And a Kickstarter to kind of help cover the costs of making the album, which is ending tomorrow night.
Yes, not only making the album, but also hopefully maybe getting enough extra to work on some promotion and maybe video my concert at Oberon on Thursday and some of those kinds of things that it would be nice to have be able to do. So
awesome. And where's the best place to go to get tickets for the show and to donate to the Kickstarter?
I think pretty much everything can be gotten to through my Dinty Child Music Facebook page. Certainly going to the Oberon Theater, ART Oberon Theater website for tickets is a good bet as well. But definitely the Kickstarter and links to music and all that kind of stuff at my place.
And that show, while the tickets last, is on Friday. Thursday, right?
Thursday, 8 o'clock. 12-piece band, string section, singers, the whole shebang. It's going to be a good night.
Fantastic. Any final words before we launch into your last song?
I think we've covered it, but thanks for having me. It means a lot when to get support from local radio and that kind of thing. So thanks a lot.
Come back anytime. Seriously, you're always welcome.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to play the title song, I think, which oddly enough is the only song on the record that I didn't have a hand in writing. It was written by my friend Chris Delmhorst. I mentioned earlier that we go on a group of us go on an annual songwriting retreat for 5 days, and one year she kind of wrote this as just a little slightly inebriated love note to the people there on the last night, and I feel like she wrote an anthem for musicians everywhere. I've sung it with musicians all over the world, and everybody seems to feel the same way. So it seemed like the perfect song to be the title of this record, and she's kind of given it to me to shepherd out into the world. She doesn't do it, so here we go. It's called Lucky Ones.
And again, thank you so much. Congrats on the album. Best of luck with the Kickstarter. Best of luck with the show, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks so much, John. All right, here we go. Well, I didn't get too much sleep last night. I was drunk on music and wine. I was floating away on an island with some good old friends of mine. And every one of them is magic. They got magic coming out of their eyes. We sit right down, we pass it around, we don't stop until the sunrise. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones today. And I didn't cry no tears today. I was way too high to be down, 'cause the water was warm in the thunderstorm with the music drifting all around. Well, dark days come and dark days go. It's a world of trouble and pain. Well, ain't it good to know there's a place to go where you can come in out of the rain. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones today. And none of us is a millionaire. We're living hand to mouth to hand. But we got time, we got a little wine, and we got more joy than we can stand. And we got love, we got love, love, love. We got love like never before. And if we run out of songs to sing, well, we know where to find some more. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones. That's right, we're the lucky ones today. Open up your eyes, open up your eyes, open up your eyes, and say thank you to the stars above. thank you to the friends and the wine. And thank you to this music, it pulls us through. Every time I wouldn't trade this goddamn life for a pile of gold. 'Cause as long as we keep singing, I don't think we ever have to get old. That's right, we're the lucky ones, that's right. We're the lucky ones, that's right. We're the lucky ones today. Yeah, that's right. We're the lucky ones, that's right. Yeah, we're the lucky ones, oh, that's right. We're the lucky ones today. Hey, yeah, that's right. We're the lucky ones, that's right. We're the lucky ones, that's right. We're the lucky ones today.